G'day, today's show is Windswept and Interesting. It's an autobiography by Glasgow joker Billy Connolly. Today's show is brought to you thanks to the Structure Success video training, which helps you come up with a rough outline for your life story project. So stay with me for this free gift at the end of the show. So the full title of this book is Windswept and Interesting, my autobiography by Sir Billy Connolly, CBE. It's a remarkable success story, and it's actually the first full-length autobiography by this Glaswegian rock star comedian. It was put out by John Murray Press, and has been a #1 bestseller. In fact, it actually picked up the British Book Awards 2022 Book of the Year for audiobook non-fiction. Now that's the one I read in inverted commas. It's actually read by Billy himself, and it's really, really worthwhile. I would pick the audiobook over the print book. So in today's show, I'm going to go over a bit about what this book is about, what I found interesting as a reader, and what we can take away as life story creators. So let's jump in. What is Windswept and Interesting all about? Well, it starts in Glasgow, Scotland in the 1940s when Billy is young. He's about 4 and he and his sister are taken into care by their aunts. Now this is because their mother has left and they end up going to school, and Billy becomes a shipyard welder. He then takes up the banjo, which I didn't know, takes up the banjo in the local folk scene. And slowly over time, his shows become less banjo, more comedy, until they're totally all comedy. And he becomes this celebrity. He's touring the world and also making documentaries and movies. Along the way, he marries twice and he has 5 children. And today he does suffer from Parkinson's disease, but he manages to fish. He loves fishing and painting and lives in Florida Keys in the United States. So I didn't want to give too much away, but that's a brief overview of the book. There's many, many interesting parts to it, but the highlights for me were learning, that Billy doesn't plan any of his comedy routines. Nope, his plan is no plan. He just gets up on stage. And for many of us, that would be horrific. That would be totally scary. Just getting up on stage, full stop. But having no plan, oh my goodness. Now, in one instance in the book, he goes on and explains that he did a show that was over 4 hours long. No plan. That was in New Zealand. So hats off. I did not know that. Found that incredibly interesting. Also interesting in this book were the stories, the antics about his famous friends. So he knows a lot of people in the era that he grew up, the Beatles, Elton John, Robin Williams, lots and lots of stories about famous celebrities. And yeah, really, really funny stories as well. But finally, the most interesting thing which I found about this book was actually at the beginning, where Billy goes over what it is to be windswept and interesting. It's actually a title. It's not just the title of the book, it's a title of almost like a religion, an ethos that he lives for. And he abbreviates it as W&I, being a W&I person. So it's not just about being, flamboyant in your dress or how the way you go out into the world and what you think or don't think about people thinking about you. He goes into a description on what being a W&I is, and also what characteristics and rules that they live by. So I won't give it away. It's really, really funny. And it's at the very start of the book. Finally, what can we learn as life story creators from this book, Windswept and Interesting? Firstly, no surprises. You can, of course, learn how to create really funny stories that makes your audience laugh out loud. He does this so well. He's a legend at doing that. And second, you can see a different take on a storyline. Now, most people write life stories chronologically, but Billy, he's not conventional. He does switch it up a bit, and I think it does succeed. I think you can take a look at this book for a little bit of its unconventional storylines. Finally, the way he talked this book, that was very helpful for us as life story writers to hear that Yep, it can be done. You don't need to sit down with a blank screen and write a book. If you're a natural storyteller, you tell stories like as if you're having a conversation, you're up on stage in this case, you can talk your book to your phone, record yourself. This means your stories come across more conversationally. You're not forcing them by trying to write. You're doing what you do best, which is probably talking in this case. So he talked it into his phone, no writing, no typing, and then he took those recordings and his daughters actually helped him transcribe it. That became the base of the book. Very, very interesting. So that's a little bit of an overcap of what the book is about, what I found interesting, and also what we can take away as life story writers. But there's much, much more over at my website on this at www.foreveryoungautobiographies.com/windswept interesting. There's some photos, Billy, of the book, there's quotes from the book, links to buy the book, etc. Go over and check that full article out on my website. And while you're there, I'd love to hear, have you got a funny story to share? Please share it with us. You can leave a comment on the page, a comment on this platform, or drop me a line at any time at my email, which is on the page foreveryoungautobiographies.com/contact. I'd love to hear from you too if you have any questions or you're stuck with planning, creating, polishing or publishing a life story project. And this could be a memoir, a biography, an autobiography or something else. Love to help and I'd love to hear from you. Before I go, I mentioned the Structure Success video training. You can get this free gift at foreveryoungautobiographies.com/structure success. Sign up. I'll have the links for you in the description and also over at that article. But this is fantastic in helping you get a plan on a page of all the key events that you want to include or the key memories that you want to include in a life story. It really helps you get a good overview and to start that creative process. So great feedback on this video and I know it's going to help you. So please check out this free gift from me to you. I will be back again soon with another topic and it would be amazing if you could follow, subscribe, like the show, share it with a friend or leave it a review. And until then, happy writing.